Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an interesting situation to report on here involving Biden and Obama angry at each other. Obama reportedly pissed off. He wanted Mark Kelly from Arizona, the astronaut who right now is the leader in the clubhouse, to be the VP for Kamala. He wanted Kelly to lead the ticket, who's kind of considered more of a moderate, probably a lot more likable than Kamala. It's not surprising Obama would think that. He's calculated, he understands, but obviously it's a total charade. It's not democratically done. Trump has come out and said last night in his rally that they might still replace Kamala depending on what happens in terms of her polling. We had a new Rasmussen poll that has Trump up by 7. We know Rasmussen definitely more conservative, but nonetheless, that is a good poll considering there's some interesting stuff going on. Some conservatives getting a little bit worried Kamala's polling better. This is the instant boost we were going to see, guys. Let me warn everyone. They were split. Now they're all in on Kamala, I guess outside of Obama. But the amount of funding that they ramped up the second that it was announced, the second that it was unofficially official that she was going to be the nominee, they had saved all of that money from the donors. The donors were saying, don't spend it. 3 weeks ago for Biden, they wanted Biden out. They pressured. So Biden was really up against it. His polling number started to totally tank because he had no funding and half of the party, or maybe 3/4 of the party, was against him. So now they're acting like Kamala, it's this magical thing. She's polling way better. They probably dumped like $100 million day one in funding. You've got everyone reporting. They're getting all these Kamala ads on YouTube and other places. So it's not too surprising when it comes to that. She's getting a little boost and it's going to go back down. And now it's been reported and they're trying to hide it. She was the most liberal senator in 2019. It gets deleted by just supposedly a bipartisan checker who looks, and I'm going to get to that in a second, but it's a website that looks at how senators vote. And obviously, if you vote left, like really far left on all the issues, you're going to grade out as extremely liberal. Same thing if you vote right on all the issues. But Harris was the most liberal senator out of all of them. So she is, by definition, in terms of America, radical left. She's radical left. There's no one more left than her, at least in 2019. And we do have this extremely savvy political move by Biden, sending one last fuck you to Obama for his political career's metaphoric grave. According to the source, Obama's hope was to get Biden out of the way, and an article written by George Clooney, if you guys remember that, in the New York Times asking him to step aside, was part of that plan. And so I had said this and other people had said it. It was just weird to see George Clooney, of all people, who just did a fundraiser with both Biden and Obama 3 weeks ago and raised, like 3 weeks before he said this, and raised like $20 million. Why would George Clooney, even if he thinks Biden might be a little bit old, why would he, who's really not that political, say this? Well, this was all calculated. It was all done by Obama to pressure Biden to drop out. Because it just makes no sense. Why would George Clooney come out? Because it would look bad on Clooney. Like 3 weeks before this, he's doing this campaign saying, give Biden all this money. And now he comes out because it was basically Clooney was an Obama plant to try and get Biden to step down. That's the dynamics at play here. However, the higher-ups in the Democratic Party didn't count on Biden endorsing Harris right away. And Obama was shocked when Joe endorsed her, according to the Insider. Remember, on Sunday, the first letter goes out that Biden's done. People immediately jump on that because they say, oh, he didn't endorse Kamala. 20 minutes later, there's another one that comes out and it does fully endorse Kamala Harris. So apparently Obama was not expecting Biden to endorse Harris, which would basically open everything up, you would think, at least to a degree. Biden, even though at this point he doesn't have much of a leg to stand on considering what happened to him, he still is the current president, so his endorsement's going to hold weight, and him endorsing Harris 20 minutes after dropping out apparently shocked Obama. Obama thought he was just going to drop out, and then that would lead to a bunch of dialogue and possibly everyone saying, all the commenters saying, we're going to get an open convention, and then possibly Obama backing Mark Kelly to lead the ticket. I don't know who the VP would be, and I'm not sure the dynamics around how they would pass over Kamala. Maybe you could just say, well, it's an open convention. That's what happens. The delegates go wherever they're going to go. And I'm guessing Obama was going to try and use his influence to sway and get them to back Mark Kelly at the top of the ticket. After Biden's ouster, Obama who did not return a request for comment on Monday, wanted Arizona Senator and former astronaut Mark Kelly, quote, at the top of the ticket when the Democratic National Convention is held next month. Obama is furious. Things have not gone his way, which is why he is not joining the Democratic Party's support of Harris. Former President Obama hasn't endorsed Harris's presidential bid because he doesn't think she can beat Trump, according to a source. This is all very interesting stuff. This is more drama within the Democratic Party, and it would lend credence. I mean, the only other thing I was thinking is, maybe Obama was trying to do a strategic endorsement by saving his endorsement for a rally where he comes out and he says, I officially endorse Harris, and then Harris speaks, and you get even more hype within the campaign. But it doesn't look like that was happening. Obama really doesn't like Harris. Obama really doesn't think Harris can win. We can understand that based off of I mean, this is very important. When it comes to the United States, look at what happened to Bernie Sanders. The entire establishment knew Bernie Sanders could not win a general election. He's too far left. Kamala Harris is the most liberal senator. We do not vote for people like that. Independents do not vote for people like that. So Obama's right here based on history. It's almost impossible for Harris to win. And he's saying, I mean, Mark Kelly would be a way better choice, but they might try and swing it. If Obama had not endorsed Kamala, you have the open convention. Kelly is the choice, and maybe you say, well, it's Democratic because maybe in between the time of now and the convention, Obama can use his influence to convince voters that Kelly is the proper choice. And maybe you could say, well, it's Democratic because the voters did want Kelly if it was an open convention scenario. But apparently also Kamala Harris is doing the official delegates vote or whatever, to where becomes the official nominee. She's doing it remotely. They're still having the DNC, and they're very worried about what's going on with the protesters and everything like that, and what a mess it was yesterday. I talked about it last night on my live stream. I tried doing a video. When I tried putting the video up yesterday, I got demonetized because of the situation. You can't even talk about it. They muzzle you. But it was a very bad situation yesterday, very disrespectful to the United States. But it's a very hard situation to deal with, because it's like, well, if you try and do something to the protesters, they're just gonna, cry and say, oh, you're not free and everything like that. But they did commit many crimes, burning things that were not their property, and it is horrible. So when it comes to this is some stuff that they're gonna have to work out, and maybe Obama gets on board. I mean, at a certain point, you would think Obama would just have to give up if he can't get his way, because right now it seems like all the delegates have pledged to Harris, and she is going to be the choice, whether he likes it or not. But it does seem like Obama's plan was to pressure Biden. It seemed like Nancy Pelosi, they said they blackmailed him. They said, we were going to do the 25th. You're gone either way. So Biden does drop out. He plays their game after, I think they were probably pissed off he didn't do it earlier, because there were so many different reports that were saying they're trying to get him to drop out. He's not going anywhere. That's when Biden kept making those statements every few days saying, I'm in the race, I'm in the race, I'm in the race. It's like a soap opera, like come on. And then you've got Nancy Pelosi saying Biden needs to make a decision. He's made a decision 5 times. So it was clear they wanted him out, and he finally, they finally threatened him with the 25th. And so that's why when he said, all right, I'll leave. And then I guess Obama thought there's no way he endorses Harris. As long as he doesn't endorse Harris, that's going to start dialogue for an open convention. And in between right now and the convention, Obama, being the biggest player within the Democratic Party, can throw his weight and his support behind Mark Kelly, if this is true. So this is very interesting dynamics at play when it comes to the Democrats. We have also got Matthew Crooks. This is supposedly confirmed because there was an emergency ruling, or I guess they had to go through this stuff, and apparently this is Thomas Crooks' page on Gab, who supported Biden, who supported the lockdowns, who supported the border policies, according to the founder of Gab, who has reported on this. So this is not surprising at all. Remember, they tried using the whole he's a conservative, he's registered Republican, makes no sense. This kid was a lib. As long as this stuff is true, it looks like it was. He said all this stuff in 2021, and so obviously there needs to be a huge investigation into this entire thing. But I'm very confident they're going to be able to find that this kid was a liberal, even if he is registered as a conservative, as a Republican. This could have been a big calculated thing from him to register as a conservative and then do what he did, although I'm not sure he's thinking that far ahead. But either way, if these posts are his, I mean, these things are straight from like Our Politics Reddit talking points. Yeah, this kid was a leftist, as long as those posts were his. You've also got Biden. his watch wasn't on the right time during his live speech. Well, I mean, I thought they've already admitted that when Biden does these addresses, none of them are live. Now, I don't know, did they try and pass it off as live last night? I don't know, but even if they did, it's not live. What they'll do is that Biden will do 4 or 5 takes and then they'll pick the best one. Now, whether or not they're that dumb to where they passed it off as live and his watch is visible, that says like 6:10 when the speech came out at 8:10 Eastern, I don't know, man. Does it really even matter anymore with Biden? It's just like there's now questions. Will he resign? Will he, stay until January? I don't know. He's already a lame duck, so it's hard to really, take it seriously. Literally as far left as possible, GovTrack removed Kamala Harris's liberal ranking. Remember, GovTrack is supposed to be this bipartisan. They just grade senators. It's a context database. They grade senators based on where they vote on certain bills and stuff. And if they're very liberal, very conservative, maybe they vote left sometimes, right sometimes. So that's all they do. It's not like this shouldn't be some crazy propaganda machine, but Republicans saw that Kamala Harris was the most liberal senator. We do not elect people like that for president that are that extreme, especially to the left. So that's a huge thing. And GovTrack, maybe they were paid by like Democratic donors to take this down, but not that it matters. we've already got it. Because it just doesn't make any sense. If all you do is you track where people vote, and it's literally called GovTrack. There is nothing. It's supposed to be fully bipartisan. I think the Democrats, with their funding apparatus, they're getting all this money from Swiss billionaires and stuff. They probably paid GovTrack to take this down. It doesn't really matter. We've already got it. But I'm just saying, why would they take this down? Like, wouldn't they like that people would, okay, they're using the platform. This is what it's for, to see how liberal people are, how conservative the senators are, because people don't really have the context in terms of how liberal someone actually is, even if they are a Democrat, or how conservative someone is, even if they are a Republican. So it's doing its job. So why remove it? They were probably paid. That's my guess. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to remove it. So here it is right here. We've got a Rasmussen poll. You've got Trump up 7. You've got expanded to everyone. Trump also up 7. There was a Rasmussen poll, the last one that came out, Biden versus Trump. The one before the last one was Trump plus 12, but the last one, I think, was Trump plus 6 or 7. So this is pretty good for I know people say, well, Rasmussen's very conservative, but, their last Biden-Trump poll was not crazy. It was like very similar to what Trump-Harris is. So plus 7 is good news for Trump, and that's certainly going to help the Real Clear Politics average. It's going to help calm everyone down. I know Harris is now the favorite to win the popular vote. This is just the fluidity of the entire thing. Let's let the situation play out. They've got all this huge funding. She's got all this momentum. How about Trump coming out and saying during his rally that he thinks that they could replace Harris? Now, I think that would be very hard to swing unless there's like a health emergency that happens to Harris or some type of crazy scandal. Because, at what point does it become it's already a complete clown show, but the only thing they can say, I forgot what point I was trying to make, but people were trying to compare something to like, them being able to choose whatever candidate they want. It's anti-democracy, and I do think it's horrible and totally anti-democracy, but their argument against that would be, this technically is the process. If Biden announces he's not going to run again, the most obvious choice would be the VP. That's what they would say. They're saying, we're not installing our own candidate. Now, Obama wanted to do that with Mark Kelly, straight up, if that's true, what I just read earlier. But what the Democrats will argue is, they're like, well, this is the process. We have a president, we have a VP. If the president doesn't want to run, the VP, is the next in line. It would be different if they chose someone else like a Newsom or a Whitmore or I guess a Kelly. It would be a little bit different. Also, there were reports yesterday that Josh Shapiro was picked as VP. I'm guessing those are either false or maybe they were just early. Josh Shapiro shot up in terms of the odds out of Pennsylvania. Originally, I thought Josh Shapiro was probably going to be the pick because Pennsylvania is the most important state in the election. And right now, the Democrats are very competitive with Trump. Trump's up by like 3 or 4. Within the margin of error, but then it came out with Shapiro being Jewish and the whole situation, possibly he's not going to be picked. So we will have to see if he ends up being the choice. I would imagine right now, based on the Obama thing, maybe there's a compromise and they make Mark Kelly, who's currently the favorite, the betting favorite to be the VP of Harris. They will probably make Mark Kelly the VP for Harris, but that's just based off of the Obama rumors that he really likes Kelly. and maybe they'll at least give him his way, at least partially. Kelly's not going to lead the ticket, but he will be the VP. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.